I lie awake staring at the ceiling, listening to the soft rhythm of my wife's breathing beside me. The night is still, and the only sound is the faint hum of the air conditioner. It's a peaceful scene, one I've come to cherish after all these years. But tonight, something feels off. I can't put my finger on it, but there's a tension in the air, something lurking just beneath the surface. I close my eyes, willing myself to sleep, but then I hear it, her voice barely a whisper. Eric, she breathes, her tone soft and intimate, like a secret lover's caress. Please, not too fast. Your Johnson is so big I can't handle it. The words hit me like a slap across the face. My heart pounds in my chest, the blood rushing to my ears as I try to make sense of what I just heard. Eric? Who the hell is Eric? And why is my wife moaning his name in her sleep? I feel a cold sweat break out across my forehead. My mind races, a thousand thoughts colliding at once. I've always trusted her, completely, blindly. We've built a life together, a successful one. I've given her everything she's ever wanted, worked hard to ensure she never had to worry about a thing. And now this betrayal, it's like a dagger to the heart, twisting deeper with every second that passes. I turn to look at her, my eyes searching her face for answers, but she's still asleep, her features relaxed and peaceful. It makes me sick. How can she sleep so soundly after uttering those words? How can she lie there, oblivious to the turmoil she's just unleashed in me? My mind flashes back to every moment we've shared, every kiss, every touch, every whispered promise in the dark. Was it all a lie? Has she been playing me for a fool all this time? I feel anger rising in my chest, hot and uncontrollable. My hands clench into fists as I fight the urge to shake her awake, to demand answers right then and there. But I don't. Instead, I swallow it down, forcing myself to breathe, to think clearly. I can't let her see how much this has shaken me. Not yet. I need to know more. I need to find out who this Eric is and why she's dreaming about him. I lie back down, staring at the ceiling once more, but sleep is impossible now. The words keep replaying in my mind over and over, like a broken record. I feel like my world is falling apart, the foundation of everything I've built crumbling beneath me. But I won't let it. I won't let her ruin everything without a fight. I'll uncover the truth, no matter what it takes. And when I do, she'll regret ever whispering that name. The morning after hearing her whisper Eric's name, I feel like I'm moving through a fog. Everything is the same, yet everything is different. I watch my wife Amanda go through her usual morning routine, completely oblivious to the turmoil she's caused inside me. She hums softly as she pours herself a cup of coffee, her hair falling in loose waves over her shoulders. I've always loved that about her, how effortlessly beautiful she is, even in the early hours of the day. But now all I can think about is that name and the words she murmured in her sleep. I force myself to smile when she looks up and catches my eye. Morning, I say, keeping my voice steady. She smiles back, her eyes warm and trusting, and I feel a pang of guilt for the dark thoughts running through my mind. But I push it aside. I need to play this right. I can't let her know what I heard. Not yet. Morning, she replies, her voice light and cheerful. Did you sleep well? Like a baby, I lie, forcing another smile. What about you? She shrugs, taking a sip of her coffee. Not bad. I had the weirdest dream, though. Can't remember much of it, just bits and pieces. I freeze for a moment, my heart skipping a beat. She doesn't remember, or is she lying? I study her face, looking for any sign of deception, but she seems genuinely puzzled. It's almost enough to make me doubt what I heard. Almost. What kind of dream? I ask casually, taking a sip of my own coffee to hide the tension in my voice. She furrows her brow, trying to recall. I don't know. Something about being on a beach, I think. And I don't know. It's fuzzy. I nod, keeping my expression neutral. Sounds relaxing. Yeah, it was, I think. She laughs softly, shaking her head. Dreams are so weird, aren't they? I manage a chuckle, though it feels hollow. They sure are. We finish breakfast in silence. The usual morning chatter replaced by an uncomfortable tension that I'm sure only I can feel. My mind races with questions, but I know I need to be patient. I need to figure out what's going on before I confront her. If I confront her, as she gets ready for work, an idea begins to form in my mind. It's risky, but it might be the only way to get the answers I need without tipping her off. I decide to suggest a spontaneous vacation, something we haven't done in years. She's always talking about how we should take more time for ourselves, just the two of us. This could be the perfect cover. When she comes downstairs dressed in her usual business attire, I smile at her. Hey, what do you think about taking a little trip? Just you and me. Get away from everything for a few days. She looks at me surprised. A trip? Where? I don't know, somewhere quiet, relaxing. Maybe a cabin in the mountains? We could leave this weekend. Her eyes light up and she smiles. That sounds amazing. Are you sure you can take time off work? I'll make it work, I say, waving off her concern. I think we both need a break. She hesitates for a moment, then nods. Okay, let's do it. I'll start looking for places tonight. Great, I reply, keeping my voice calm, even though my heart is pounding in my chest. This is it. This is my chance to find out what's really going on. If she's hiding something, this trip will bring it to the surface. The rest of the day drags on, my mind constantly drifting back to the plan. I force myself to go through the motions at work, but it's impossible to focus. Every time I close my eyes, I hear her voice again, whispering that name. Eric. The word is like a poison, spreading through my thoughts, tainting everything it touches. When I get home, Amanda's already looking up cabins online, her face glowing with excitement. She shows me a few options, and I nod along, barely paying attention. I don't care where we go, as long as it's isolated. Somewhere I can control the situation, where she can't run if things go south. Finally, we settle on a secluded cabin deep in the woods, far from any neighbors or prying eyes. Perfect. We book it for the weekend, and I feel a strange mix of anticipation and dread settle in my chest. This is happening. I'm really doing this. The next few days pass in a blur. Amanda is busy packing and making plans, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing inside me. I, on the other hand, am constantly on edge, my mind racing with what-ifs. What if I'm wrong? What if there's a perfectly innocent explanation? But then I hear her whispering that name again in my head, and the doubts fade away. No, I'm not wrong. There's something going on, and I'm going to find out what. The morning we're set to leave, I wake up before Amanda, my heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. I pack my bag in silence, careful not to wake her. I can't afford any slip-ups now. Everything has to be perfect. When she finally wakes up, she's all smiles, excited for the trip. I can barely look at her without feeling a surge of anger, but I force myself to stay calm. We load the car and set off, the tension between us growing with every mile. The drive is long and silent, the thick forest swallowing us whole as we make our way to the cabin. Amanda chatters away, oblivious to the dark thoughts swirling in my mind. I nod along, barely listening, my focus on the road ahead. The isolation is perfect. No cell service, no distractions. Just us, alone with whatever secrets she's hiding. When we finally arrive, the cabin is even more secluded than I imagined. It's perched on the edge of a cliff, overlooking a dense forest that stretches as far as the eye can see. The air is thick with the scent of pine and earth, and the silence is almost oppressive. It's the perfect place for the truth to come out. As we unpack, I can feel the tension building inside me. My hands tremble as I set our bags down in the small rustic bedroom. The bed is a massive wooden structure, draped in heavy quilts. It looks cozy, but all I can think about is what she might say when I finally confront her. Will she deny it? Will she admit everything? I'm not sure which would be worse. We spend the afternoon exploring the area around the cabin, but my mind is elsewhere. Amanda seems to sense my distraction and asks if everything's okay. I brush her off with a smile and a kiss, telling her I'm just tired from the drive. It's a lie, but she doesn't push it. She never does. By the time the sun starts to set, my nerves are frayed. I can't take the waiting anymore. As we sit on the porch watching the sky turn shades of orange and pink, I decide it's time. I turn to her, my heart pounding in my chest. Hey, Amanda, can I ask you something? I say, trying to keep my voice casual. She looks at me, her eyes wide with curiosity. Of course. What's on your mind? I hesitate for a moment, then take a deep breath. The other night, you said something in your sleep. You mentioned a name. Eric. Do you know anyone by that name? Her smile falters, and I see a flicker of something in her eyes. Fear? Guilt? It's gone in an instant, replaced by confusion. Eric, she repeats, frowning. No, I don't think so. Why? I study her face, looking for any sign of deception, but she seems genuinely puzzled. I want to believe her, but I can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. You sure? You said his name in your sleep, I press, watching her closely. She shakes her head, her frown deepening. I don't remember that at all. Are you sure you didn't mishear me? My heart sinks. I don't want to doubt her, but I know what I heard. I'm sure, I say, my voice hardening. You said, Eric, please, not too fast. Her eyes widen in shock and she shakes her head again, more vigorously this time. No, I didn't. I swear I don't know anyone named Eric. I feel my anger rising and I struggle to keep it in check. Then why would you say that? Why would you say his name like that? She looks genuinely distressed now, her eyes filling with tears. I don't know. I must have been dreaming about something else. Please, you have to believe me. I want to believe her. I want to reach out and comfort her, tell her it's all a misunderstanding. But the image of her whispering that name, the sound of it in her sleep, is seared into my mind. I can't let it go. Do you think I'm an idiot? I snap, the anger bubbling over. You expect me to believe you don't know anything about this? Her tears spill over, and she shakes her head, her voice breaking. No, I would never lie to you. I love you. Please, you have to believe me. But I can't. I can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something, that there's more to this than she's letting on. The tension between us is thick, almost suffocating. I need space, time to think. I stand up abruptly, turning away from her. I need some air, I say, my voice tight. I'll be back in a bit. I don't wait for her to respond. I walk away from the cabin, down the narrow path that winds through the woods. My mind is a whirlwind of thoughts, doubts, and fears. I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality, like I'm caught in some twisted nightmare that I can't wake up from. As I walk, the shadows lengthen, and the forest grows darker around me. The only sounds are the crunch of leaves under my feet and the occasional rustle of animals in the underbrush. It's peaceful, but I find no comfort in it. My thoughts are too loud, too chaotic. I don't know how long I walk before I finally stop, the cabin now far behind me. I lean against a tree, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I close my eyes, trying to calm the storm inside me, but it's no use. I can't stop thinking about what she said, what she might be hiding. I don't know how much time passes before I hear the sound of footsteps behind me. I turn around, and there she is, her face pale and streaked with tears. She looks at me with such sorrow, such desperation, that I almost break. Almost. I'm sorry, she whispers, her voice trembling. I didn't mean to upset you. I don't know what I said, but I swear, I'm not hiding anything. I stare at her, my emotions warring inside me. I want to believe her. I want to go back to how things were before, but I can't. I can't shake the feeling that there's something I'm missing, some piece of the puzzle that's just out of reach. I need you to be honest with me, I say, my voice low and strained. If there's something you're not telling me, now is the time. She shakes her head, fresh tears spilling down her cheeks. I'm telling you the truth. I swear, I don't know anyone named Eric. Please, you have to believe me. I want to. God, I want to. But the doubt gnaws at me, eating away at the trust we've built over the years. I turn away from her, staring into the darkness of the forest. I need some time, I say quietly. I need to figure this out. She doesn't respond, and when I turn back, she's gone. I'm alone again, the shadows closing in around me. I don't know what to believe anymore. All I know is that something is very wrong, and I need to find out what it is before it destroys us. After that night in the woods, nothing feels the same. Amanda and I return home in silence, the weight of what was left unspoken pressing down on us. She tries to reach out, her hand brushing mine as we drive back, but I pull away. I can't bring myself to touch her, not after the way my mind keeps circling back to Eric. I need to know who he is and what he means to her. I need to understand why my wife is calling out another man's name in her sleep. Once we're home, Amanda busies herself with unpacking, trying to pretend everything is normal. I watch her from the doorway, my mind already racing with plans. I need to start investigating, but I have to be careful. If she senses I'm digging, she might hide more. Close off, and I can't afford that. I need her to stay oblivious while I search for answers. The next morning, after she leaves for work, I dive in. I start by searching her computer, combing through her emails, social media, and anything else I can get my hands on. At first, there's nothing, just the usual mundane exchanges with friends and colleagues. But then I find something, buried deep in her deleted emails, a message from someone named Eric. My heart skips a beat as I click on it, the subject line reading, "Missed you last night." The email is brief, but it's enough to set my blood boiling. "Had a great time last night. Can't wait to see you again. E." I stare at the screen, the words blurring as rage courses through me. I knew it. I knew there was something going on. But this confirms it. She's been meeting with him, seeing him behind my back. The image of her with another man flashes in my mind and I feel sick. I slam the laptop shut, my hands trembling with anger. I can't stay here. Not right now. I need to clear my head. I grab my keys and leave, driving aimlessly for hours. My thoughts are a storm, whipping through my mind, tearing apart everything I thought I knew. How could she do this to me? After everything we've been through, everything I've done for her, I trusted her, I loved her, and she's been lying to me, sneaking around with this Eric. But as the hours pass, the anger starts to give way to something else, a cold, calculating need to know more. This email is just the beginning. I need to find out who Eric is, what he does, where he lives. I need to know everything about him. Only then can I confront Amanda with the full truth and make her face the consequences of her betrayal. I start with the obvious, hiring a private investigator. I find one through a friend of a friend, a man named Garrett who comes highly recommended. We meet in a small, dimly lit bar where I lay out the situation for him. He listens quietly, nodding as I explain about the email, about the whispers in the night, about how I need to know everything about Eric. "Consider it done," Garrett says, sliding a business card across the table. "I'll get you everything you need." I take the card, my hand steady now that I have a plan. "How long will it take?" "A few days, maybe a week," he replies. "I'll be in touch as soon as I have something." I nod and leave the bar, feeling a strange sense of calm settle over me. For the first time since this all started, I feel like I'm in control. Garrett will find Eric, and then I'll finally have the answers I need. The next few days are agonizing. I go through the motions at work, barely able to focus, constantly checking my phone for updates from Garrett. At home, things with Amanda are tense. She tries to talk to me, but I keep my responses short, cold. I can see the hurt in her eyes, but I can't bring myself to care. Not when she's been lying to me, betraying me. Finally, Garrett calls. "I've got something for you," he says. "Meet me at the usual spot." I'm out the door before he can say anything else. My heart pounds as I drive to the bar, anticipation and dread twisting together in my gut. When I arrive, Garrett is already there, a manila envelope on the table in front of him. He gestures for me to sit, sliding the envelope toward me. "This is everything I could find on Eric," he says. "It's complicated." I don't respond, just tear open the envelope and start reading. The first few pages are basic information, Eric's full name, where he works, where he lives. But as I go deeper, My hands start to shake. The photos, Eric with Amanda, laughing together, sitting close at a restaurant, confirm everything I feared. But then there's more. A lot more. Eric isn't just some guy she met recently. He's someone from her past, someone she was involved with before we got together. And it wasn't just a fling. They were serious, almost engaged. But then something happened. Something bad. There are police reports, court records. It's all here, laid out in black and white. Restraining orders, accusations of stalking, violence. Amanda left him, changed her name, and moved to get away from him. But somehow he found her. My mind reels as I take it all in. How could she keep this from me? How could she not tell me about this part of her life? This dangerous man who's been lurking in the shadows. And why is she seeing him again now, after all these years? Garrett watches me carefully. There's more, he says, his voice low. I dug a little deeper, and it looks like Eric isn't just interested in rekindling an old flame. He's got a history, connections to some dangerous people, people who might have a reason to use Amanda to get to you. I look up at him, my blood running cold. What do you mean? I mean your wife might be in more danger than you realize, Garrett says. This isn't just about an affair. There's something bigger going on here, something that involves both of you. I feel like the ground is slipping out from under me. Everything I thought I knew, everything I've been focused on, it's all been wrong. This isn't just about Amanda's betrayal. It's about something much darker, something that could destroy us both. What do I do? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Garrett leans back in his chair, considering. You need to confront her, but you need to do it carefully. She's been hiding this from you for a reason. She might be scared, or she might be in deeper than you think. But whatever you do, you can't let her know you've been digging into this. Not yet. I nod, my mind racing. Confront her. I have to confront her, but I have to do it right. I have to get the truth out of her. All of it, without pushing her away. If she's in danger, I need to protect her, even if she's been lying to me. When I get home that night, Amanda's waiting for me, her face pale, her eyes red from crying. She's been trying to talk to me for days, but I've shut her out, too consumed by my own obsession to listen. Now looking at her, I realize how scared she must be, not just of losing me, but of whatever is lurking in her past, whatever Eric represents. We need to talk, I say, my voice firm but gentle, and I need you to be completely honest with me. She nods, her hands trembling as she gestures for me to sit down. I've wanted to tell you everything, but I didn't know how, she begins, her voice shaking. It's all so complicated, and I was afraid you wouldn't understand. Try me, I say, keeping my voice steady. She takes a deep breath and begins to tell me everything. How she and Eric met when they were young, how they fell in love quickly, intensely, but how it all turned dark when he became possessive, controlling. She tried to leave him, but he wouldn't let her go. It escalated to violence, and she finally escaped, changing her name and moving far away to start a new life. I thought I was safe, she says, tears streaming down her face. But then he found me. A few months ago, he started calling, sending emails. I tried to ignore it, but then he showed up in town. I was so scared, and I didn't know what to do. I should have told you, but I was afraid he would hurt you too. I listen in stunned silence as she continues, explaining how Eric has been stalking her, trying to worm his way back into her life. He's threatened to expose her past, to ruin her career, her reputation. She's been meeting him out of fear, trying to keep him calm, trying to protect me from the truth. Why didn't you tell me? I ask, my voice breaking. I could have helped you. I didn't want to drag you into this, she sobs. I thought I could handle it, that he would go away if I just gave him what he wanted. But it's gotten worse. He's not just after me anymore. He's after both of us. I feel a surge of protectiveness mixed with fury. Eric isn't just some lover from her past. He's a threat, a danger to everything we've built together. And he's been playing us both, manipulating Amanda's fear and my jealousy to keep us in the dark. We're going to fix this, I say, taking her hand. But I need you to trust me, and I need you to be completely honest from now on. No more secrets." She nods, her grip on my hand tightening. "I promise, no more secrets." As we sit together, holding each other, I feel a grim determination settle over me. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. Eric thinks he can scare us, control us, but he's about to find out just how wrong he is. I'm not going to let him tear us apart. I'm going to fight back, and I'm going to win. But as the night wears on and Amanda finally falls asleep in my arms, I can't shake the feeling that we're in over our heads. This isn't just about Eric anymore. It's about something bigger, something I don't fully understand yet, and I have a sinking feeling that the worst is yet to come. After Amanda's confession, I spend the next few days in a haze of anger, fear, and confusion. Everything she told me about Eric is worse than I imagined. He's not just a ghost from her past, he's a monster. And now he's back in our lives, threatening everything I hold dear. I can't sleep. I can't eat. My mind is constantly racing, trying to figure out how to protect her, how to protect us from the darkness that Eric has brought with him. But I'm not the kind of man who sits back and lets things happen. I've always taken control of my life, and I'm not about to stop now. I know I have to confront Eric to end this once and for all, but I need to be smart about it. I can't just go charging in blind. I need to know what I'm dealing with. Garrett's words echo in my mind. This isn't just about an affair. There's something bigger going on here. I can't shake the feeling that I'm missing something, that there's more to this than just Eric's obsession with Amanda. I need to dig deeper to find out what he's really after. I start by going back through the information Garrett gave me. I pore over the photos, the emails, the court records. Every detail feels like a puzzle piece, but the picture they form is still incomplete. I need more. I need to find out where Eric is now, what he's planning. But Garrett's reached the end of his trail. I can't rely on him anymore. So I take matters into my own hands. I begin by tracking Eric's movements through the digital breadcrumbs he's left behind. Social media, financial transactions, anything that might give me a lead. I'm no hacker, but I know enough to get by. And what I find sends a chill down my spine. Eric has been renting a small rundown apartment on the outskirts of town under a fake name. He's been living there for months, watching us, waiting for the right moment to strike. He's been following Amanda, tracking her every move. But what's more disturbing is what I find in his financial records. Payments made to a private investigator, someone who's been digging into my past, my business dealings, my connections. He's not just after Amanda, he's after me too. The realization hits me like a punch to the gut. This isn't just about rekindling some twisted romance. Eric has a plan, and I'm a part of it. But what does he want? Money? Revenge? I don't know, but I'm damn sure going to find out. I decide it's time to confront Amanda again. I need to know if there's anything else she hasn't told me. As much as I hate to admit it, I can't do this alone. If we're going to survive this, we need to be honest with each other. When I get home, she's sitting on the couch, staring blankly at the television. She looks up when I walk in, her eyes red and swollen from crying. My heart aches at the sight, but I can't let myself be soft right now. I sit down beside her, my tone firm. We need to talk. She nods, wiping away a tear. I know. There's more, isn't there? I ask, my voice low. Something you haven't told me. She hesitates, and for a moment, I think she's going to lie again. But then she sighs, her shoulders slumping in defeat. Yes, she whispers. There is. Tell me everything, I demand, trying to keep my anger in check. She takes a deep breath and begins to speak, her voice barely above a whisper. She tells me about the threats Eric has made, not just against her, but against me. She tells me how he's been blackmailing her, using her past to manipulate her into doing what he wants. But there's more. Much more. He doesn't just want me back, she says, her voice trembling. He wants to destroy you. He's convinced that you ruined his life, that you took everything from him. He's obsessed with revenge. Why? I ask, trying to piece together the puzzle. What did I ever do to him? She shakes her head. It's not just about you. It's about your family, your business. He blames your father for something that happened years ago, something that ruined his life. I feel a cold dread settle in my stomach. My father, who passed away years ago, was a ruthless businessman, and I know he made enemies. But I never imagined one of those enemies would come back to haunt me like this. What did my father do? I ask, my voice barely steady. She looks away, unable to meet my eyes. He ruined Eric's father, bankrupted him, drove him to suicide. Eric's been waiting for years to get his revenge. The room spins around me as I process her words. This isn't just about Amanda. This is about my family's dark legacy, about sins committed long before I even knew Amanda existed. And now those sins have come back to destroy us. I stand up, pacing the room as I try to think. We need to stop him, I say finally. But we have to be careful. He's been watching us, manipulating us. We can't let him know we're onto him. What are you going to do? She asks, her voice small and scared. I'm going to meet him, I say, the decision crystallizing in my mind. But not on his terms, on mine. I'm going to end this, once and for all. She grabs my arm, her eyes wide with fear. No, it's too dangerous. You don't know what he's capable of. I don't have a choice, I say, gently pulling away from her. I'm not going to let him destroy us. I'm not going to let him win. The next day, I begin preparing for the confrontation. I study everything Garrett found on Eric, trying to anticipate his next move. I map out the location of his apartment, planning my approach. I know I'm walking into a trap, but I'm determined to turn it back on him. I load my gun, the cold metal a comfort in my hand. I've never had to use it before, but I'm ready to do whatever it takes to protect Amanda, to protect my life. I don't tell Amanda about my plan. The less she knows, the safer she'll be. I leave her a note telling her I love her, that everything will be okay. It's a lie, but it's one I need her to believe. She's already been through too much. As I drive to Eric's apartment, the city feels different. The streets are empty, the buildings looming like silent sentinels watching my every move. My heart pounds in my chest, my mind racing through every possible scenario. I know this might be the last time I see Amanda, but I push that thought away. I have to focus on the task at hand. I can't afford any distractions. When I arrive, the building is as run down as I expected. The windows are dirty, the paint peeling from the walls. I park a few blocks away and make my way to the entrance, my gun concealed under my jacket. I move quickly, quietly, every nerve on edge. Inside, the hallway is dimly lit, the air thick with the smell of mildew. I make my way to Eric's door, my footsteps echoing in the silence. When I reach it, I pause, listening for any sign of movement. There's nothing, just the faint hum of a TV from somewhere down the hall. I knock, my hands steady despite the adrenaline surging through my veins. There's a long pause, and then the door creaks open. Eric stands before me, looking older, more haggard than in the photos Garrett took. His eyes are cold, calculating, and a slow smile spreads across his face as he recognizes me. Finally, he says, his voice dripping with malice. I was wondering when you'd show up. I push my way inside, forcing him back into the apartment. The place is a mess, cluttered with old furniture and papers strewn across the floor. It reeks of stale cigarettes and sweat. You've been busy, I say, my voice flat. Following us, sending threats. What's your endgame, Eric? He laughs, a bitter, humorless sound. You don't get it, do you? This isn't just about you. This is about everything your family has done, everything they've taken from mine. I'm going to destroy you, just like your father destroyed mine. By threatening my wife, I snap, my anger boiling over. By stalking her, manipulating her, he shrugs, unfazed by my outburst. She's just a means to an end. You took everything from me, and now I'm going to take everything from you. I step closer, my hand resting on the gun under my jacket. It's over, Eric. You're not going to hurt her, and you're not going to hurt me. He grins, a twisted, manic look in his eyes. You really think you can stop me? You have no idea what I'm capable of. Before I can react, he lunges at me, a knife flashing in his hand. I barely have time to draw my gun before he's on me, the blade slicing through my shirt. Pain explodes in my side, but I don't stop. I fire, the gunshot echoing through the apartment. Eric staggers back, clutching his side where the bullet tore through him. His eyes widen in shock and fury, but I don't give him a chance to recover. I'm on him in an instant, my hands tightening around the gun, ready to fire again if he makes a move. The blood seeps through his fingers, darkening his shirt, and he slumps against the wall, gasping for breath. "You think this is over?" he rasps, a twisted grin spreading across his face despite the pain. "You don't even know what you've started." I press the barrel of the gun to his chest, my heart pounding in my ears. "Tell me everything," I demand, my voice cold. "Who's behind this? What do you want?" He laughs, a wet, gurgling sound that sends a shiver down my spine. "You're in way over your head," he whispers. "This isn't just about you or me. It's bigger than that. They're coming for you, and there's nothing you can do to stop it." "Who?" I press, shaking him. "Who's coming for me?" But he just shakes his head, his eyes glazing over as he slips further into shock. His breathing becomes shallow, and I realize he's fading fast. I don't have much time. "Who sent you?" I shout, desperate for answers. "What do they want?" He looks up at me, his gaze unfocused, and for a moment, I think he's going to tell me. But then his body goes limp, the last of his strength draining away. He slumps forward, and I barely catch him before he hits the ground. I check his pulse, but it's no use. He's gone. I sit back, my mind racing. Eric was the key to everything, and now he's dead. I still don't know who's behind this, or what they want. All I know is that I'm in danger, and so is Amanda. I have to figure out what's going on before it's too late. I wipe the blood from my hands, my stomach churning at the sight. I've never killed a man before, and the reality of what I've done starts to sink in. But there's no time for guilt. I need to focus. I need to act. I search Eric's apartment, tearing through drawers and cabinets, looking for anything that might give me a clue. I find a stash of fake IDs, a burner phone, and a laptop. The phone is encrypted, but the laptop might have something useful. I grab it, shoving it into my bag along with the other items. I need to get out of here before anyone shows up. As I leave the apartment, I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. Every shadow, every sound makes my skin crawl. I force myself to stay calm, to focus on getting back to Amanda. She needs to know what happened. We need to come up with a plan. When I get home, the house is dark and quiet. I find Amanda in the bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed, her face pale and drawn. She looks up as I enter, her eyes wide with fear. "What happened?" she asks, her voice trembling. "Eric's dead," I say flatly, dropping the bag on the floor. "He came at me with a knife. I had no choice." Her hand flies to her mouth, her eyes filling with tears. "Oh my God," she whispers. "What are we going to do?" I sit down beside her, taking her hand in mine. "We're going to figure this out," I say, trying to sound more confident than I feel. "But first, I need to know if there's anything else you haven't told me. Anything at all." She hesitates, and I feel a surge of frustration. "Amanda, please. We don't have time for secrets. Whoever was behind Eric is still out there, and they're coming for us. I need to know everything." She nods, wiping her eyes. "There's something I didn't tell you," she admits, her voice barely above a whisper. "Eric mentioned someone, a man named Victor. He said Victor was the one who wanted revenge, who was pulling all the strings." "Victor?" I frown, trying to place the name. "Did he say anything else about him?" She shakes her head. "Just that Victor has a lot of power, a lot of connections. He's dangerous, more dangerous than Eric ever was." I feel a cold knot form in my stomach. If Eric was just a pawn, then Victor is the real threat. And if he's as dangerous as Amanda says, we're in deeper trouble than I thought. "We need to find out who Victor is," I say, standing up. "And we need to do it fast." I pull out the laptop I took from Eric's apartment and set it up on the kitchen table. Amanda watches as I hack into it, my fingers flying over the keys. It's not long before I find what I'm looking for. emails, files, and a list of contacts. Victor's name appears multiple times, always in connection with shady business deals, extortion, and worse. I scroll through the emails, my heart sinking as I realize just how deep this goes. This is bad, I mutter, rubbing my temples. Victor's not just dangerous. He's connected to some very powerful people. Politicians, businessmen, criminals. If he's after us, we're in serious trouble. Amanda looks over my shoulder, her face pale. What are we going to do? I think for a moment, my mind racing. We need leverage, I say finally. Something we can use against him. If we can find something on Victor, something that would bring him down, we might be able to turn the tables. And if we can't, she asks, her voice trembling, then we'll have to disappear, I say grimly, leave everything behind and start over somewhere new. But I'd rather not do that unless we have no other choice. She nods, her eyes filled with fear and uncertainty. I can tell she's struggling to hold it together, but she's stronger than she looks. She's been through so much already, and I can't let her down now. I spend the next few hours going through the files, looking for anything we can use against Victor. Amanda sits beside me, helping where she can, but I can see the strain on her face. She's exhausted, both physically and emotionally, and I know we can't keep this up for long. Finally, I find something. It's an encrypted file buried deep in the laptop's hard drive. It takes me a while to crack it, but when I do, I feel a surge of triumph. It's a list of transactions, huge sums of money being transferred to offshore accounts, all linked to Victor. There are also records of meetings, phone calls, and emails between Victor and several high-profile individuals. If this information got out, it would ruin him. This is it, I say, turning to Amanda. This is what we need. If we can get this to the right people, we can take Victor down. But how? She asks, her voice laced with anxiety. Who can we trust? I think for a moment. I know a guy, I say finally, a journalist who's been investigating corruption for years. If we give this to him, he'll know what to do. Amanda looks at me, her eyes filled with hope for the first time in days. Do you think it will work? It's our best shot, I say, trying to reassure her, but we have to be careful. If Victor finds out what we're doing before we can get this to the press, he'll come after us with everything he's got. We make the call the next day. I meet the journalist in a secluded park, handing over the files and explaining the situation. He listens carefully, his expression grim. This is big, he says, his voice low. If what you're saying is true, this could take down a lot of people, but it's also dangerous. You're going to have a lot of powerful enemies if this gets out. I know, I say, my tone firm, but we don't have a choice. This is the only way to stop Victor. He nods, tucking the files into his bag. I'll start working on it right away, but you two need to lay low until this blows over. Don't contact me unless it's an emergency. I agree, and we part ways. As I walk back to the car, I feel a strange mix of relief and dread. We've done everything we can, but now it's out of our hands. All we can do is wait and hope that the journalist can bring Victor down before he finds us. Back at the house, I tell Amanda what happened. She looks relieved, but there's still a shadow of fear in her eyes. What do we do now? She asks, her voice trembling. We wait, I say, wrapping my arms around her, and we prepare for the worst. The next few days are a blur of tension and anxiety. We stay inside, keeping the curtains drawn and the doors locked. Every time the phone rings, my heart skips a beat, but it's never the call we're waiting for. I feel like a caged animal, pacing the house, unable to relax. Amanda tries to stay strong, but I can see the toll it's taking on her. Finally, the call comes. The journalist's voice is tense, his words hurried. It's out, he says. The story's gone live, but you need to get out of there. Now. My blood runs cold. What happened? Victor's people are onto you, he says. They're coming for you. You need to disappear. I hang up, my mind racing. We don't have much time. I grab Amanda, telling her to pack a bag. We throw together what little we can carry and head for the door. My heart pounds as I scan the street, looking for any sign of danger. The coast seems clear, but I know we're running on borrowed time. We make our way to the car, my hand gripping Amanda's tightly. I can feel her trembling, but she doesn't say a word. She knows how serious this is. We climb into the car and I start the engine, my hands shaking as I pull out onto the road. We drive in silence, the tension between us thick. I keep checking the rearview mirror, half expecting to see Victor's men on our tail. But there's nothing, just the empty road stretching out before us. As we leave the city behind, I feel a strange sense of relief. We've done everything we can. Now it's just a matter of staying ahead of Victor and his people. I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing. I'm not going to let them take us down without a fight. I barely feel the pain as I drive, my side throbbing where Eric's knife cut me. The adrenaline numbs it, but I know I'm running on borrowed time. Amanda sits beside me, her face pale and drawn, eyes wide with fear. I keep glancing in the rearview mirror, expecting to see headlights bearing down on us. But the road behind is empty. For now. We've been driving for hours, heading nowhere in particular, just trying to put as much distance between us and Victor's reach. My mind races, trying to figure out our next move. The journalist has the evidence, but I can't trust that it will bring Victor down fast enough. He's too powerful, too well connected. We need to disappear, but how long can we stay hidden before he finds us? I pull off the highway onto a narrow winding road that leads into the forest. The trees close in around us, the darkness deepening with every mile. Amanda finally breaks the silence, her voice trembling. What are we going to do? We can't keep running forever. I know, I say, trying to sound confident, though my own fear is gnawing at me. But we need time to figure out our next move. We can't just confront Victor head on. He's too dangerous. She looks at me, her eyes searching mine. You're hurt. We need to stop, get you some help. There's no time, I insist, shaking my head. I'll be fine. We just need to find somewhere to lay low, at least for tonight. After another hour of driving, we find a small, dilapidated cabin deep in the woods. It looks abandoned, the windows dark, the door hanging slightly ajar. It's not much, but it's shelter. I pull up to it, kill the engine, and we sit in silence for a moment, the only sound our breathing. Stay here, I say, reaching for the gun in the glove compartment. I'm going to check it out. She grabs my arm, her grip surprisingly strong. Be careful. I nod, pushing open the car door and stepping out into the cool night air. My side aches as I move, but I ignore it, focusing on the task at hand. The cabin is quiet. No signs of life, just the creak of old wood as I step onto the porch. I push the door open with the barrel of the gun, peering into the darkness. Nothing. Just a small, musty room with a single bed and a table covered in dust. I check the rest of the cabin, but it's empty, safe. For now, I wave Amanda in, and she follows, her eyes darting around nervously. We'll stay here tonight, I say, locking the door behind us. I'll keep watch. She looks at me, concern etched on her face. You need to rest. You're bleeding. I glance down at my side, the dark stain spreading across my shirt. She's right. I'm in worse shape than I want to admit, but I can't afford to show weakness, not now. I shake my head, pulling a chair up to the window where I can watch the road. I'll be fine. You get some sleep. She hesitates, then nods, her shoulders slumping in exhaustion. She crawls onto the bed, curling up on her side, her eyes still fixed on me. I force a smile, trying to reassure her, but inside I'm a mess. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. As the night wears on, the adrenaline begins to fade, replaced by a deep, throbbing pain. My vision blurs and I find myself struggling to stay awake. I keep the gun in my lap, my finger resting on the trigger, but my mind drifts, thoughts swirling in a haze of fear and exhaustion. I don't know how long I sit there fighting to stay conscious when I hear it. A faint noise outside, the crunch of leaves underfoot. My heart leaps into my throat, and I grip the gun tighter, my body tensing. I strain to listen, every muscle taut, but the noise doesn't come again. Was it just my imagination? Or is Victor's men already closing in? I stand, swaying slightly, and move to the window. The forest is dark and still, no sign of movement. But that doesn't mean we're safe. I return to my chair, my eyes heavy, but I force myself to stay alert. I can't let my guard down, not for a second. Sometime in the early hours of the morning, I must have dozed off, because the next thing I know, Amanda is shaking me awake, her face pale with worry. "John, you need to rest," she pleads, her voice soft but urgent. "You're going to make yourself worse." I blink, disoriented, my hand still gripping the gun. The room is dim, the first light of dawn seeping through the cracks in the walls. I shake my head, trying to clear the fog. "I'm fine," I mumble, but even as I say it, I know it's a lie. The pain in my side is a constant burning ache, and I feel weak, my body heavy with fatigue. "You're not," she insists, tears welling in her eyes. "Please, just lie down for a little while." "I'll keep watch." I hesitate, torn between the need to protect her and the overwhelming exhaustion dragging me down. Finally, I nod, too tired to argue. I hand her the gun, my fingers trembling, and collapse onto the bed. The mattress is hard and lumpy, but I don't care. I'm asleep before my head hits the pillow. When I wake, the sun is high in the sky, casting long shadows through the dusty windows. Amanda is still by the window, the gun in her lap, her face drawn with worry. "Anything?" I ask, my voice rough with sleep. She shakes her head. "No." It's been quiet. I sit up, wincing as the pain in my side flares up again. "We can't stay here. We need to keep moving." She nods, but I can see the exhaustion in her eyes. We're both running on fumes, and I don't know how much longer we can keep this up, but we don't have a choice. We pack up what little we have and head back to the car. My hands shake as I grip the steering wheel, the pain in my side making it hard to focus. But I push through it, knowing that stopping isn't an option. We drive for hours, the landscape blurring past in a haze of green and gray. Every car that passes us makes my heart race. Every shadow on the road feels like a threat. I keep glancing in the rearview mirror, expecting to see headlights closing in, but the road remains empty. Finally, as dusk begins to fall, we pull into a small town, far from the city. It's quiet, almost deserted, the kind of place where people don't ask questions. We find a cheap motel on the outskirts and check in under fake names. The room is small and dingy, but it's a roof over our heads. For now, it's enough. I collapse onto the bed, the pain in my side flaring up with a vengeance. Amanda sits beside me, her hand on my arm, her eyes filled with worry. "We need to get you to a doctor," she says, her voice soft but firm. "You can't keep going like this." I shake my head, forcing a smile. We can't risk it. "We need to stay off the grid, remember?" She looks at me, tears welling up in her eyes. "But you're hurt. You could die." I reach up, cupping her face in my hand. "I'm not going to die," I say, trying to sound reassuring. "Not as long as I have you." She leans into my touch, closing her eyes as a tear slips down her cheek. I pull her close, holding her tightly, the weight of everything we've been through pressing down on me. We're in this together, and I won't let anything happen to her. Not now, not ever. As the night falls, we lie together on the bed, holding each other close. I can feel her warmth, her steady breathing, and it gives me strength. We're not out of the woods yet, but as long as we're together, I know we can make it through this. But as I drift off to sleep, one thought keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Victor is still out there, and he won't stop until he finds us. We've bought ourselves some time, but it's only a matter of time before he catches up. In the end, I know there's only one way this can end. I'll have to confront Victor to face him head on, and when that time comes, I'll be ready. For now, though, I hold Amanda close, listening to the steady rhythm of her breathing. Whatever happens next, we'll face it together, and no matter what, I'll protect her with everything I have. After everything, I'm finally standing in front of Victor. It's taken so much to get here. Blood, fear, sleepless nights. But now it's just the two of us, face to face. We're in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place I chose deliberately. No witnesses, no interruptions. Just us and whatever happens next. Victor's calm, too calm, as if he's in control. He stands there in his expensive suit, looking at me with cold, calculating eyes. He's unarmed, or at least he appears to be, but I don't trust it. He's a man who always has a plan, always one step ahead. But today I'm here to change that. You've caused me a lot of trouble, Victor says, his voice smooth, almost amused. I have to give you credit for that. I don't respond. My gun is heavy in my hand, the weight of it a reminder of everything I've been through to get here. I don't want to shoot him. Not yet. First, I need answers. Why? I ask, my voice low, tight with anger. Why go after me? After Amanda? What did we ever do to you? He smiles, a slow, predatory grin that makes my skin crawl. You're just collateral damage. This was never really about you or your wife. It's about your father and the legacy he left behind. My father? I feel a surge of confusion and anger. What does he have to do with this? Everything, Victor replies, his smile fading. Your father ruined my family. He destroyed my father's business, drove him to the brink. And then, when we were at our lowest, he finished us off, leaving us with nothing. My father died a broken man because of yours. I stare at him, the pieces finally falling into place. This isn't just about revenge. It's about old grudges, old wounds that never healed. So you decided to take it out on me? I snap. On my wife? What kind of coward are you? Victor's eyes narrow, his calm demeanor slipping for the first time. I'm not a coward, he hisses. I'm a survivor. And now I'm going to make sure your family pays for what they did to mine. I shake my head, disgusted. This isn't justice. This is madness. Call it what you want, he sneers, but it's too late to stop it. You're in too deep now. I tighten my grip on the gun, my mind racing. I could end this right now, pull the trigger and be done with it. But something holds me back. If I kill him, does that make me any better than him? Is this really the justice I'm after, or just revenge? You don't have to do this, I say, my voice softer now. We can end this, walk away. You've lost everything because of my father, but killing me won't bring any of it back. Victor laughs, a harsh, bitter sound. You think I'm looking for redemption? You think this is about making peace? No, this is about power. It's about showing everyone that I'm not someone to be crossed. That your family, your name, means nothing. I realize then that there's no reasoning with him. Victor's too far gone, consumed by hatred and the need for control. He won't stop until he's destroyed everything I love, everything I fought to protect. I take a step forward, the gun raised, my hand steady. You're wrong, I say, my voice hard. My name means everything, and I won't let you take it from me. For a moment, we just stare at each other, the tension between us thick and suffocating. Then in a flash, Victor moves, his hand darting inside his jacket. I don't hesitate. I fire. The gunshot echoes through the empty warehouse, the sound deafening in the silence that follows. Victor stumbles, his hand clutching his chest, blood seeping through his fingers. He looks at me, his eyes wide with shock and disbelief. You! He gasps, but the words die in his throat. He falls to his knees, then collapses onto the cold concrete floor, his body twitching once before going still. I lower the gun, my heart pounding in my chest. It's over. Victor is dead. But as I stand there looking down at his lifeless body, I don't feel the relief I expected. Instead, I'm left with a hollow emptiness, a sense of loss that I can't quite explain. I walk over to him, staring down at the man who had caused so much pain, so much destruction. There's no satisfaction in his death, no triumph, just a cold, brutal finality. I killed him to protect Amanda, to protect myself, but I can't shake the feeling that something inside me has changed, something I can never get back. I leave the warehouse, my steps heavy, the weight of what I've done pressing down on me. The sun is starting to rise, casting long shadows across the ground. I get into the car and drive, not sure where I'm going, just needing to get away from the scene of the crime, from the memories of what I've just done. When I reach the motel where Amanda is waiting, I sit in the car for a long moment, trying to collect myself. I have to be strong for her, to tell her that it's over, that we're safe. But when I look in the rearview mirror, I hardly recognize the man staring back at me. There's a darkness in my eyes, a shadow that wasn't there before. I finally get out of the car and head inside. Amanda is pacing the room when I walk in, her face pale with worry. She rushes over to me, her eyes searching mine. "Is it over?" she asks, her voice trembling. I nod, pulling her into my arms. "It's over," I whisper, holding her tightly. "Victor's dead." She lets out a shuddering breath, relief washing over her. "Thank God," she whispers, burying her face in my chest. "Thank God it's finally over." But as I hold her, the weight of what I've done settles over me, heavy and suffocating. I did what I had to do, but it doesn't feel like a victory. It feels like a loss, a part of myself that I'll never get back. We pack our things and leave the motel, driving away from the town, from the memories of what happened there. We don't talk much, just sit in silence, lost in our own thoughts. Amanda holds my hand, and I can feel her love, her support, but it doesn't ease the darkness inside me. As the miles stretch out before us, I think about everything we've been through, the secrets, the lies, the violence. It's changed us both, scarred us in ways that will never fully heal. We'll move on, start a new life somewhere far away, but I know that the shadows of our past will always follow us. I glance over at Amanda, her face serene as she stares out the window. I love her more than anything, and I would do it all again to protect her. But I can't help but wonder if she sees the change in me, if she senses the darkness that now lingers beneath the surface. We find a small town far from the city, a place where no one knows us, where we can start over. We rent a modest house on the outskirts, surrounded by trees and quiet. It's peaceful, a place where we can heal. But even here, I feel the weight of everything that's happened, pressing down on me like a constant reminder. Days turn into weeks, and slowly we start to build a new life. Amanda finds work at a local clinic, and I take a job at a hardware store. Something simple, something that keeps my hands busy and my mind quiet. We don't talk about what happened, don't mention Victor or Eric or the blood that was spilled. We just move forward, one day at a time. But at night, when the world is still and quiet, the memories come rushing back, haunting me. I see Victor's face, hear his last words, and I wonder if I'll ever be free of them. I did what I had to do, but I can't shake the feeling that I've lost something in the process, something I'll never be able to get back. Amanda senses it too. She's been patient, loving, but I see the worry in her eyes, the fear that the man she fell in love with is gone, replaced by someone darker, someone she doesn't fully recognize. One night as we lie in bed, she turns to me, her voice soft in the darkness. "We'll get through this," she whispers, her hand resting on my chest. "Together." I nod, pulling her close, but I don't say anything. I don't know if I believe it, if I can ever truly move past what I've done, what I've become, but I hold on to her, onto the love we share, hoping it will be enough. As I drift off to sleep, I hear her whisper my name, a soft, reassuring sound that soothes the turmoil inside me. But even as I close my eyes, I know that the darkness is still there, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting. And I wonder, as the night closes in around us, if I'll ever be able to escape it.